Hey everybody, it's Dr. D. It is the day after Mother's Day, and I spent most of my Mother's Day in between the Urgent Care Center and St. Joseph's Hospital here in Tampa, because that's what we do. We take care of our babies, and we don't get a day off on Mother's Day. That's just what we do. But I wanted to share with you, because of my sensitivities over the weekend and coming into Mother's Day, I've been very sensitive to the concept of healing hearts and healing minds. And I wanted to share with you and encourage you to don't disregard the spiritual energy of your gut instincts. Sometimes you have gut instincts and you don't really have all of the proof around you that what you're sensing is valid. So I was reminded of that yesterday, so that when I did show up for our inspirational gathering that we host every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3, I was still very sensitive to the notion of healing hearts. And I continue to talk about it in relation to Mother's Day, among other things, but certainly, relating it to Mother's Day. And I'll be honest with you, it seemed like the entire message, my whole flow, it just seemed like it was invalid. I felt like I was wasting everybody's time talking about something, because I just didn't seem like it was working, it was connecting, it was fitting. And I actually dismissed service early. I dismissed our inspirational gathering early, because I felt like I was wasting people's time blabbering about healing hearts, and certainly I was exhausted from my day, and yet on my way to the hospital to take care of my baby. And so I just ended service. I'm like, I hope you got something out of it. And it wasn't until after service that, a few different ones were chitter-chattering. And then it was revealed that someone in the service, someone dear to us, had lost a sibling. And the sibling had been deceased for some days, but they had just discovered the passing of their sibling. And I quickly said, oh my gosh, healing hearts. And I had felt it so strong leading up to our gathering. And when I got to the gathering, it just seemed like it was still very present with me, but I had no evidence in the atmosphere. Kind of like you're a DJ and nobody's really responding to the song you're playing. I had no evidence. So I'm like, well, let me just let it go home. But healing hearts, it was so present and so very real, even in that moment. And it reminded me of why years earlier, I would see my dad as a pastor kind of interrupt a service and say, is it something in the air? I'm sensing something, but I don't know what it is. Does anybody want to say something? Anybody has anything to share? Because sometimes it's just right there. You don't have it, but you feel it, and it's right there. So I want to encourage you, pay attention to that spiritual energy that is often moving your gut instincts. People need us. People need you. You need you to pay attention to you and what you're sensing and what you're feeling. I wrote a few things down here. Even as it relates to our family, personal, the world around us, all of the social issues around us, all of these things. As I posted about a week or so ago, all of these things will sometimes create triggers that pull out the purpose of why we're in a room to speak to an issue. You know how sometimes you've been at a restaurant or at a store and you felt like you hadn't intended to go there, but you were in the right place at the right time because someone said something to you, or you said something to someone, and you were able to make an exchange or exchange some information or a greeting. And you know that greeting and that exchange created a lift for you or that other person or the persons. So, and this is a part of my passion even as we do gather on Sundays. There are some elements about our Sunday gatherings that are reminiscent of kind of traditional church worship service, African American kind of energy and expression in our music and so forth, and our delivery. But theologically, a big part of what I'm wanting to do is to help lift your spiritual consciousness for living, so that you practice a greater sense of control and initiation for what happens in your world. And you do that by being spiritually conscious and aware. And sometimes it's as simple as what you're sensing in your gut instincts. Something told me to go over there. You know, something told me. Well, a lot of times that something is your spiritual gut instincts. And every now and then, hey, you might miss it. You're like, oh, I surely missed that one. But you don't know until you try. So you have to practice living by the gut instincts that you sense. It's a part of your spiritual energy. We are living in we have natural manifestations around us, flesh and blood, natural. That fake tree behind me is a natural, a tangible something, a thing, right? The glass, the grass, the trees, these are natural things that you can tangibly touch. But sometimes they distract us from the fact that there is spiritual energy and presence all around us and emanating from within us. We are spiritual energy and presence being expressed through tangible flesh. And so to be more successful at fulfilling your divine call, purpose, and presence in the earth, have to be aware of spiritual energy, that which is in you, operating in you and through you, and that which is operating around you. All right, so this is my quick encouragement to pay attention to the spiritual energy of your gut instincts. They're there for a reason. All right, take care, everybody. Bye. Have a great week, and live greater.